Okie dokie. So this is our Pilates session together. We are going to come to lying down. We do have a little bit of a mix. So we definitely have ab work. It's why we're here. So we have on the mat workout. We have on the mat exercises. We have on the mat relaxation. Front and end of this session. We're going to have some standing. We're going to have some balance work. We're going to have some core work in a functional way. So we've got a whole nice little mix going on. But like I said, we're going to start with your relaxation lying down. Whether you need support later on, maybe grab that chair or have your support to hand for standing for any balance work. Right now, you might want a cushion or a blanket, and that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to come and join you. I'm going to come down. If you just want to come as is, but you might, when you roll down, you might hug the knees into the chest, and you may just bring yourself in a little tighter, or even curl up. If you want to do this straight away, I might wrap all the way around and really hug myself in. If you want to rock here, you absolutely can. Otherwise, again, just find that relaxation position. Where are you with this? How do you feel? Let's relax the shoulders. Maybe keep the legs parallel. Maybe keep your feet planted. If you'd like to, a great one for the pelvis and those inner thighs is to keep the soles of the feet together. Relax the shoulders and just kind of wiggle it out for me. If you're okay with it, let's close the eyes as well. Whether you want to lengthen out those legs, entirely up to you. Whether you like the arms out, I know I do in different positions, but equally so, you can just pop your hands on the rib cage maybe. But wherever we're here and wherever you are, present-wise, let's be present with your breathing. So sticking with the idea of the calm for the inhale and the calm for your exhale, let's breathe it through the body. Let's allow that breath to create all of that beautiful space for us. So I mentioned where you have your hands. If you did have them on the rib cage, sometimes that's even more help to actually feel the breath move into the hands. If you feel that you would prefer to have the hands down by the side, you might be able to breathe into the chest and find a little bit more openness, a little bit more breadth of that breath. So instead of just finding the inhale rising up and down, you might be able to push that breath through the rib cage and give me some width for it. But we still want to concentrate on lengthening both. So lengthen your inhale for me, lengthen the exhale, create a version that's beautiful and fluid for both of these for you. So although we'll have a stronger inhale potentially compared to your connection with the exhale and vice versa, nothing is ever equal. We're just here to kind of luxuriate in the idea of your generalized breath. And that generalized breath starts to have more layers, starts to have a little bit of extra, a little bit of layering going on, and still creating your version. So if something doesn't sit well with you that I've mentioned or I touch upon, just continue as is for you. So as is creating a little bit more lift for me, a little bit more openness, and create a little bit more oomph maybe through our pausing, through our holding, through the idea that the core is working for you, or you simply have an awareness that starts to deepen. Where is that inhale currently? Whereabouts in the body are we feeling it rise into? Are you coming into that chest a little bit more? Are you breathing into the upper back? Are you breathing through the rib cage? What are you feeling for the exhale? Are you ready to put a little bit more oomph into your exhale? Where's your core awareness at the moment? If these questions are kind of coming at you and they're feeling a little vague, just go with the flow and continue to inhale, exhale. When you get into more of a definite version for the exhale in terms of core awareness, that core contraction will also start to kind of fire up for you. I love to talk about it from the pelvis in the inside out version. That may not sit well with you. You can have a little hugging version for me. You can have a calmer option. I honestly don't mind. This breath is always yours. I'm here to give you some extra guidance, little bit of a nudge towards the challenging side of things. So for right now, can you give me 5 breaths of more awareness through the core, more actual zip up, more holding in, a little bit of a pause potentially, both in the inhale to rise even further up And the exhale, let's zoom in. Let's really draw in. Give me some oomph. Maybe you've got 1 or 2 more breaths. Let's make them count. And then as you get into that calm again, you're into the calm of the inhale, the calm of the exhale. Quite nice and fluid between the two of them. Let them soften into each other. Let them roll into each other. I'm going to come back down and meet you. And if you did have those legs extended, what we're going to do is plant your feet, and you can absolutely keep your eyes closed if you would prefer, but otherwise I'm going to bring us into that core awareness again. So let's relax your shoulders. I've got a little bit of residual core engagement, like I said, from the pelvis up towards my waistband and my tummy button. I'm going to do my right leg. You do whichever you like, but I'm going to slide along the floor, rise up, and bring it in. Gently hold. So if you want more and you need that stretch through your glute, then you can hug it a little tighter. But again, release it. Slide it down. Reach it up. Stretch it. Reach out those toes for me. Bring it in. Hug it in. Hollow out my belly. On this next one, if you're able to, curl up for me. Find your calf or somewhere else that is not on knee and gently hold. When you come down, do the same. Stay where you are, hug it in, and then slide to release. Let's do one more, just the same. Up you come to meet that leg. Use your core. Breathing out, relax the shoulders. In with the knee, into the chest. Breathing in, breathe it out. This time, if you can lengthen out the other leg, just hold it there and allow that hip flexor to have a nice amount of stretch and release. Pop the foot down, pop the other one down, pop both my shoulders down, relax and open the chest and just breathe in. When we're ready, we're going to do the head down version on the other side. So it's a little bit like a bicycle action, into hugging in. Again, what's happening with your glute? How are you feeling on that second side? Release the arms, release the hands, slide it, reach it, and then hug it in for me. This one, if you want to, maybe curl up only the knee to chest. But on the next one, we're going to do 2 of them. Let's curl up, hold your calf. Breathe in, breathe it out. Slide to hold knee to chest. Hollow out my belly. Head and shoulders down. Slide away. When you're ready for it, slide up. Hold this one again. Hamstring stretch. Glute stretch. Hip flexor stretch now because you're stretching the other leg out and away. Whether you can come up from here, rock and roll, otherwise pop the feet down and maybe even just roll to the side for me. If you have a cushion and you'd like to wedge it into your back, absolutely, great idea. If you've got a hard surface, roll up your mat a little bit, pop it underneath. If you're fine, you're good to go. So let's plant your legs. Let's relax and roll those shoulders. I'm holding behind my knees. Try not to let our legs go in and out. So this is already pelvic stability. Little mini tuck and a gentle lift. And then if it's more for you, lift the chin a little higher. And then gradually have some neck and shoulder mobilization where you are. Rolling to release one side and the other. Into the center. Hug, scoop. Hold it. When you come up, you might even just pop your hands on top of the knees, and that might help you to just let the shoulder blades draw down. Same idea. Some circling, half circling, gentle nodding, just mobilizing the upper back, the neck, the chest. And then from here, if you are able to, when we see curve down, let's maybe release one hand, release the other, and then lift up, and then we can come around and down. So I'm going to breathe in, up top here. Exhale, coming down. You may or may not be able to give me a fly action with the arms, and then come down. If you know you need to hold on, do repeated versions of this, repetitions on one side, then the other, keeping one hand and giving me some fly action, which just means softening the elbow. One side, then the other. Otherwise, both arms off, making sure those legs stay put for me. Heels could be planted if you prefer. Otherwise, feet down. So I'm going to go down, sweep it, reach it. Breathe in, breathe it out. challenging option. If you want to give me a few arm circles here, that's 3, lift up, back down again. I'm going to do 3, 2, up you come. 1 more, roll it down, hold it, relax those shoulders, sweep the arms. 1, 2, 3, and then let's go over the top. If you're over the top is good with a bent leg. Otherwise, because we've been here for a little bit, I might just point the toes, and that's because I just put some flexion into my ankles. Would you like to have the flexion and reach towards the toes, or actually hold on, just because it might give you a slightly different version? It's a calf stretch potentially. And then again, I'm just going to point. You don't have to hold on, but if it's there for you, give it a little hold, a little pause. And then as we come up, we're just going to scoop ourselves under and through. And then from here, because you just worked a little bit of upper back, you can have a parallel, or I'm going to go with a child's pose version. And that's me with the wide knees. I'm going to put left hand in front, tuck my right hand under. It's going to stretch my right shoulder. As I come forward, maybe just a T shape is perfect to start us off. And I'm going to do a side to side option. Pull back and down, breathe in, reach it up. Opposite hand, so back to the first side for me. Down I go. Coming up and coming out. Pop it down, thread it through, ease yourself back and down. Come up, and if you're able to, which might not be the same on both sides, you can have a little look up to the ceiling and maybe even stack those shoulders. Work with whatever your body is telling you, and just give me that next one. For me is going to be the last one. You may want to parallel up and give yourself another. Then I'm just going to walk us into the all fours. If you need a cat-cow here because you like it and you just want to kind of put the parallel back into the body, you can tuck and release just through the pelvis. You can tuck the chin, you can hold. It's all relative. What are you feeling in this position? Do you need a little bit of movement? Otherwise, off we go into our all fours balance. So if you'd like to, with the opposite hand and toes, you could start it off reaching to the edges of your mat and beyond, but you keep this lovely flat back. You keep the lovely, nice, relaxed upper body and shoulders, and the same is true of your hips. And when you're ready for it, if there's some elevation, it's a length, a reach, and more of a press to stretch out for me. So as you reach out, reach through fingertips, reach through the toes. Should you be able to pop a hold and a pause in, let's start to do that. If you have the means to look at yourself, whether it's at the camera, whether it's in record mode, whether you've got a mirror to practice this on, just giving yourself that visual feedback of keeping the parallel lines, keeping the power through the core will really benefit you. Great for upper body, great for glute activation, brilliant for my thighs. And I'm now just going to have one more per side here. Are you ready for the hold? If you've not done it. Drawing in, relax the shoulder of the arm that's extended, power in the one supporting. Last switch here. Reach it, stretch it. When you're in, plant your hands lovely and strong for me. Tuck toes, you're ready to come up. If you're able to pop a little extra pause in your hamstring stretch in this down dog, please do. Otherwise, I'm off now, walking towards, fingertips towards the toes. Soften your knees when you're ready. As we roll up, I'm just going to tuck my pelvis under, roll those shoulders, and then just have some sweeping and opening. Because we've just used our upper body. We've just paused in that parallel. Let's open your chest. Just one more. Lovely. So this one, we're coming into a little mini version of a Russian twist. If you ever want to put this with a Pilates ball or a firm cushion, you absolutely can. But what we're going to start with, so we've got a center, a left or a right or a left, whichever way you go first. And if you want to as well, you can turn into it. So to start with, Imagine you're holding that ball. So if you can't see, I've got the soft knees, I've got my feet parallel, I've got a little bit of core engagement, I've got my relaxed upper body posture, holding the imaginary ball. And then I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to pause, come to the center. Breathe in, slightly soft elbows for me. For the moment, I'm keeping my hips perfectly, or there and abouts, to the front of the room. And you will have differences side for side, for sure. If you want to, when you go around, you could pull that back arm and let it, so if you're holding a ball, you would drop it on the floor, but you're going to give yourself a little bit of a row to this. So I squeeze into that back shoulder blade, that bit more. As I turn, I'm still looking, but my hips are staying front. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep hold of that imaginary ball or pull that back arm back. Where are you for a last and final one? Last one here. Lovely. So maybe just shake it out through the wrists or the arms in general and just kind of loosen off and step out of that holding position for your legs. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have the same sort of idea. So it's a version on a Russian twist. It's basically work your obliques. Yay. So we're going to come from your central step and then you're going to take yourself into a push press instead. So if you prefer to carry on with more of a soft rotation or a hug round of a single arm, you absolutely can. This time I'm going to zip up my legs. So actually, well, let's do a single side because the push press works really well that way. I'm going to keep nudging this way. So from here, I'm going to turn and step and then push out. So if you are okay with leaving the back leg super straight, that's where I want you to have the power through the core, the glutes, the thighs, and you're going to turn the toes out and press away. So I'm keeping this leg here, this supporting leg, the one left behind, zipped right up. I still want to zip up and work these inner thighs. So I plant the heel and I engage through the core and I engage through these legs. They're doing different things, but they're still working. On the same side, let's do about kind of 20 to 30 seconds of work. Are you ready? Step, press, and come back. So you breathe in as you're going. I'm going to rest my arm or my forearm on my thigh and press away. So we breathe in and we exhale. You're going to do 2 more for me and then we'll do the other side. Press, return. 1 more. Push, return. So just switch yourself so you're ready on the other side. I'm going to have those shoulders stacked again, lifting through the pelvis, nice upper body posture. May or may not have the same depth of your step, but whatever you're doing, the wrapping or the push pressing, let's do it here. Press it out. When you come together, breathe in. As you go, press away. Breathe in, drop down, press away. Take your time, plant the heel of that moving leg. And if you wanted to punch this out, instead of flex your wrist for any number of reasons, absolutely. Next one though is your last one. Use that core forming. And pause it there. Lovely. Same is true. A little bit of flick, a little bit of movement. Might just be a nice little touch here. So shoulders, arms, head, neck, whatever you feel is needed, and legs. Just give yourself a little pause or a water break. And then what we're going to come into is a standing knee lift. So we are going to come from this standing position. And so I mentioned maybe if you needed any support, it might be now, and you have a single arm pull, or you actually want to do it with a lower tempo, so you don't, a lower height, reduce your range of motion. You'll know once we do it. So I'm just going to come on the side, and all I'm going to do is reach and pull. So for me, I want to work those lower abs the minute this leg is up. That's my support. If I've got this belly hollowed out and working for me, there's a strong chance I could get the knee up higher. It's also flexibility in the hips, so don't worry if you're not that high. Stay on the same side for me, and we're going to do, again, about 30 seconds of work before we go on the other side. Are you ready? So straight leg or soft leg. I'm going to reach and pull. Breathe in. Breathe out. So I'm doing a big reach, rowing arms, but a lovely drive of that knee. This knee lift is driving up. You've got about halfway done, halfway to go. I'm just going back onto the tiptoes just to have a pause and have a lovely big stretch and reach before I pull in. Next one, last one. Lovely. Give me that pause. Any movement, mobilization you need. We're going on the other side. Hope you got that from me being on the side. If you need to hold with the support, you would hold on the leg that is your supporting leg and just give you the single arm, single leg on the same side. I'm just going to do it facing. We've got 30 seconds on your other leg. Onto the tiptoes if you'd like, and pull. These are slower than you think. Pop in a little extra oomph, a little extra hold if you can. Remember, your supporting leg, I prefer you to be more so in the heel than the tiptoes, so rechecking that. When these arms go up, try not to let the shoulders come with you. Next one, last one. Perfect, lovely. So from here, let's just go to our standing saw. So I'm just going to let myself slide down with a wide leg for a change. You don't have to, with the toes turned out, and just stretch my legs and roll up through the core. You do not have to have come that far. If you just want to push out, you can push out. I'm going to go back to a classic version for the standing saw, which would be my parallel legs. Lift up, work these inner thighs, lift from the pelvis, just check your surroundings. T-shaped arms. If you'd like to glide and slide and give me some row and not too much in terms of a lean or a hinge, great idea. Still working your core and your legs. If it's there for a bit of a stretch that happens in front of you and a lovely little extra tap down potentially, why not? If you want more rotation into these, let's go towards the foot or the ankle. And if you don't want the top arm when you're around there, go back to T-shape. Pop the back arm behind you into your waistband and just go a little slower. So reach and hold, zip up, lengthen out the arms and tuck behind. I'm just going to do a holding version, but with my T-shaped arm up in the air. And I'm going to go to the toes or the ankle, and I'm going to look up. Reset your core, engage. Try not to come up, walk straight round. Go to the other side. Let that arm be up, in the air. Let yourself come down on the hands, in with the feet, and softly to roll up. Lovely. So from here, we are bringing ourselves into a version of a squat and a heel kick or a heel lift. So would you prefer that bit of support whilst you do this? Would you prefer a parallel option, or would you prefer the wide plie? I think it's quite a nice idea to actually throw a few different things into the mix. Why not? So I might start here with my wide plie. I'm going to sit down into it, and then I'm going to kick and kick where I am, step into the middle, drop down, and then kick where I am, and then I step out. So there's not much speed to it. You're stepping out, and then the heel kicking is engaging my hamstring and my glutes, but obviously I'm on a single leg, so there's a balance for the core, and you're just going through a really nice, calm, switching version if that's you. Otherwise, stay with the wide, or give me just the parallel. Give it to me with support as well, if you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this one about 45 seconds. So slow and calm. Are you ready? I'm going to slide down. When I come up, I'm going to kick, step, slide down, stand tall, kick in the heel, I step out, and it's all very nice and calm. In a sense, I want my core to be with me. I want to be in the right position, ready for the next version. I don't need to rush these. I like the shoulder placement. I like my glutes to be with me on these. I want to make sure my knee placement is there, especially on these parallel ones. You've got about 15 seconds, so there's a strong chance that we're going at different tempos, but I'm thinking I'm going to fit in now one more of each. Step out, slide. This is my wide plie, kick, parallel, slide it, kick. Done with that one. Lovely. So from here, we're just going to bring ourselves into a low lunge. So that just means a version that has more legs. So if your low lunge needs or would like to have a little bit more support, let's do it. I'm just going to move my mat slightly. So don't mind which one we start with. We've got to do both sides. So my left leg's in front and my right heel could be on a turn in, like doing a yoga pose, or you can go with the heel down and the hips stay front and those legs are in parallel. So when I say low, I'm asking us to do a little hinge. What we're going to do is different kind of rowing arms and then a chest fly, so that we've got a lot of core work needed to support the fact we're moving with the arms. Anytime you ever want to pop a dumbbell on this, you absolutely can. Soft on that supporting side. Let's do palm facing in the midline, a row, then let's do a palm up row, and then let's do a nice opener. So I'm not hinged too far, but I'm in it enough that I've got a nice line from the crown of my head to my heel, and actually I've got quite a nice calf stretch. We're going to do about 30 seconds per side. Hinge in means the core. Reach, row, palm up, pull in, wrap, open. Not very many of these because I just want us to work on the core engagement to make sure you're staying connected whilst we move these arms. Next one of all three, last one. In, open, hands on hips wouldn't be a bad idea. So we're going to go on the other side. So I'm just going to come to the front and just be on this mat. So I'm just going to do, oh, that's the wrong foot. Swap sides for me. Like, oh, that feels like I've done it. Yes, I have. So plant that front foot. Try not to travel too far forward. Again, turn out or not for the back leg. Let me get the timer going for us. Come down, reach, row, palm up, row, wrap, open. Reach, pull, palm up, pull, wrap, open. Reach, cores engaged. Get those shoulders working. Open the chest. How many are we going to get in? I think let's do one more lot. So you've got a row and an upright row and open. Lovely. Perfect. So again, wouldn't hurt to just have a kind of floppy arm, swing or other movement. Just gently shaking it out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring it to a little bit of a calmer for the fact that there's no balance challenges, but we're going to bring it for the core. We're going to come on down to our mat. So if you're ready for me, and if you're able to, we're just going to have a little roll down, roll up, walk out series that puts in whatever is good for you, both shoulders, upper body, wrist work, core work, because it has to be manageable for you. But if we can nudge ourselves into that challenge zone, why not? So from the back of my mat, I'm going to roll down and walk out. I'm going to hold a plank, which could be a kneeling option, and I'll show it when we're there. And then we're going to roll up and come back. The next time we come down, we will go to the all fours, and we'll do 3 of the all fours balance we've already done together per side, and then you'll be up. So we're going to do 3 lots of that. So what we got is as a pairing, but 3 times through. So one has a plank, one has the all fours balance. Let's make that 1 rep, and then we'll do that twice more. So I hope I made that clear. We'll do it together anyway. So are you ready at the back of your mat? Parallel or there and abouts for my legs. Tuck in the chin. If you need to soften your legs before you reach the floor, please do. If you're okay to keep the heels down for a touch and get that down dog going, let's do it. Walk it out and find your natural glide into a plank hold. If it's better for you to come down on the knees, you could give me a little lift. It's like a cobra or a kneeling plank. If you're fine where you are with the plank, then we can do that little push up, a bottom coming up. Your heels will get to plant that down when they're ready. And then maybe bend the knees sooner rather than later and roll up. Why not have a stretch at the top, just like doing a full body stretch we do lying down. And then we're going again. So this one, we're all going to touch down on the knees. You're going to do 3 each side of the all fours balance. Are you ready? Roll it down. Ease it down. Perhaps you can still give me a version of down dog, because then you soften onto the knees and just reset yourself for your box position. Let's not go too speedy either. And it's 3 repetitions of either fingertip and toe on the floor, or you've got this elevated version. I'm already on that second one. Now I'm on the second side. So I just got 1 more each side, 1 more rep per side. Reach, pause, reach, pause. Find a strong stance with the hands. Maybe the legs need to move, tuck toes. Let's go up. So we're going through these quite slowly so that we can feel the core work. Here, I'm going to pop a shoulder roll or those arm openers of whatever version makes sense. I quite like a flicky version. And then we're going again, plank hold, and then the all fours balance. Potentially, now you've got it, we speed this up a little bit. If you want to go faster than I, please do. When you're done, you would always have a child's pose and wait for me. So I'm going to roll down. I'm going to walk it out. That plank will come as you glide through down dog. If you want a slightly different version, bring those legs in. If you know you're good to go for popping those knees down, please do. I'm going to go up with the bottom, out with the legs, walk the hands in, roll it up, soften the knees potentially. Again, lovely big stretch out the top. And on this one, let's just go again. So straight down, walk it out, find a down dog just momentarily, soft knees, reset, strong core. You've got 3 per side, reach it, already there for the last one each side. Stretch, stretch, plant the hands, tuck the toes, roll up, tuck the tailbone under, reach it. Go again, down you go, plank hold, through the down dog, into plank. Kneeling or full, legs together or parallel, thumbs up, into down dog, heels down, roll up, reach it out, roll down. Into that all fours, sooner rather than later. Pause to get the right angles, the right box position for your body. Reach it long. Fingertips away from those toes. Core and glutes. Synchronize the exhale. 1 more each side. And this is your pause. So if you're already there, maybe sit down into that child's pose. So just breathe in for me, breathing out. If you'd like a more fluid option of that child's pose, you absolutely can. I'm just moving my mat, ready for us to come round. So I'm going to come up to come round. If you want to slide a little slower to the floor, you can. But as we come round, we're going to come into that classic twisting bicycle or an oblique crunch, whatever you want to call it. But let's have, again, because you're down here, some ankle mobilization, some lower back release, maybe a little bit of the hamstring stretch that is a calmer version than doing a down dog. So you might not even hold it. You might just stretch and wiggle, move the toes, move the ankles. And then lovely, legs planted, head and shoulders down option would be crunch your knees in and then give me a reach on the diagonal, but you actually are not lifting your chest. So if you want to, you go over, or you reach and synchronize it with the crunching of the knee. If you want to do this version on a single side, you could just do a little micro tap down of the toes and then off you go to reach and reach. If you actually want this one with the curl up, you could curl up over the top, or you could pop one hand down, hold the back of the head, and just start to gradually come up. If you are okay with a version that is entirely up, that's where I'm going now. So breathe in, exhale, imprint your lower back, one leg up and the other. Fingertips to temple curl up. Keep this if you can in terms of the challenge. Start calm where the elbows are coming towards or inside the knees, but you haven't quite got the leg extension with those legs going away. If you want to pop that in, mine kind of naturally go to a straight leg lower option. And it also slows me down, so I put a little extra hold into it. So when I said keep that tabletop, that's where one leg stays, and now my other leg goes straighter and stronger away from me. I get more rotation, so I get the elbow around the outside of that leg, outside of the thigh. We breathe in, we breathe it out. We inhale, we exhale. We come through this for one more, each side, and on the next rep, we just push it through, last one, and we bring it in. Where would you like to pop yourself for calm? I'm going to pop myself with the soles of the feet together, breathing in and breathing out. Just relax through the pelvis, relax through the chest because it's open. Take these lovely big deep breaths for me, breathing in and breathing out. From here, if you are able to, we've got a froggy crunch. So I've already got the soles of the feet together. You may be able to hold the head and give me the same thing, coming down through the middle, but it's more of an upright option, so you're reaching towards the ceiling. And I'm definitely letting my head be really heavy on that hand supporting. So we will do single-sided reps. Try to keep the lower abs connected here, so we aren't doming out through the belly. We're always going to try it hollowing out. If you're there for the kind of free version, as it were, you're going to reach on that diagonal that you've just been doing, but without holding the head. And you can go side to side for me, or you can go through the middle. You can go side, side, center. Reach, reach, press and hold. Pull your tummy button in. Tuck the tailbone under. Reach, press, press, curl up into it. Really scoop out through the belly. Use your glutes. Tuck the pelvis through the midline. One more of the whole lot. And pause. From here, let's just, I have to move myself away from the wall, but let's have the T-shaped arms, palms down, and just let yourself gently drop to open your hip flexor, open through from the rib cage and the idea of wrapping around, and just let yourself go one side and the other for some lovely stretch and release. And do let gravity help you. So I want you to feel that pull, feel the openness through the hips, into the top of the thighs, and potentially through your chest as well. So let's maybe do one more each side. Breathe in through the center, breathe out for that first side. Breathe into the midline, and then you're there for that second side. Lovely. I'm going to stay this side and just roll over. That kind of brings me where I want to be-ish, because I've got to move back. And then we're going to come to more stretch and release with the work combined. So we're going to come into our thread the needle in a side plank. So always lots of different options for you. Palm is down, elbow is in line with the hips. Keep the knees zipped up. Keep the idea of the pelvis working through the core. Let's tuck under and very simply open the chest and lean back. Breathe in. Excuse me, breathe it out. Inhale underneath, wrap through, lift up, take it out. Breathe in, breathe out. If you can give me a version that has the leg extension, try not to roll back into it. Stay lifted and even lift that leg. So I've got toe down, tuck, and then I'm going to lift out. So you're making a bit of a star shape for me. We're going to breathe in and then hold this star shape. If you're able to take that leg straight, if you're able to take that arm out, if you're able to hover the legs potentially, you're in a bit of a boomerang position and you're holding for 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. And then you've got hip dips. What do they look like for you? Same side, palm down, the other hand there for support. You might lift and hold, or you might lift to hold and pop down. So I just lifted, waited until my hips were up. Then I stack my shoulder and lift. Would you like to challenge yourself to again have the top leg straight to do the same thing? Maybe it's a flexed foot, maybe it's a pointed toe down there. You can lift as one and pop the hip down. Let me just come slightly more on the side. So keep going where you are. Breathing in on that tap down, breathing out to come up. I'm just going to do the breath in here and then the lift to hold. So you could soften the bottom knee, then you could straighten the leg. Would you like to lift and lower that leg whilst you're there? 2 or 3, probably no more than 5 times. And then come down and just give me one more of that whole lot. So I'm going to lift up first, reach that top arm, and then go down and up, just in line with my hip. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Lovely. So we've got to do the same on the other side. You're working to whatever is your capability. So my thread the needle, again, I quite like the range of motion I have. We're on the other side. When I've got those knees down, I'm going to tuck, lift on its own, and find that lovely opening for yourself through that top arm, creeping its way back a little bit, reaching out through that top arm a little bit, and just making sure you're staying elevated from that elbow, from those hips. And if you are ready for that leg lift, again, try not to let it pull you back. Star shape, so if you want to lift the leg as you're going or once you're in it, pop that into the mix. Whether you can add these layers or not, it might not be the same on both sides. Getting ready for a leg lift or a leg hold. For me, I'm just going to walk it out, lift it up, bring those legs together, but lift them. They are off the floor. They are touching. We got 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, maybe come up, just straighten up a touch. And then we've got hip dips. And this is going to be your final exercise before final relaxation. So are you ready with the zip up option? Still thinking about the underside nearest to my mat. Trying to think about this bottom shoulder. And you might just lift and lower. You may not want to lift that top arm. You may be able to lift and give me hold. Then give me calm. Maybe it's now time for the toe out or the flexed foot. And again, it's quite natural sometimes if you've got the power and that confidence to lift the leg as you're lifting the hip. Remember about stacking those shoulders for me. Breathing in. Are you going to give me any leg lift and lower? So we go down and up. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, because we're going to do one more of those if you're okay. So just remember that shoulder. Are you ready? Breathe in, lift it, tap, lift. Only in line there with the hip. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So for me, I'm just going to bring the mat, because I'm stuck up against the wall. Going to bring the mat in. And we're just going to do some mermaid stretching. So one leg in front. I don't mind which because we've got to do both sides. So one leg in front. Gently wrap round. Look round if you can. Get that pull through. Very similar to when we were lying on our back. Just come around for me to the other side. Are you able to lift or to sweep the top arm? And then I'm just going to swap us over actually. Do the other side. Pop myself into this. May not be as comfortable for the hips, for the back toe. If you need to tuck a different option, if you need to put a layer back there, then you absolutely can, as in a cushion or a clothing layer. And you might reach. And then I might tuck and lift. So then from here, let's just spin it down. So if you need those layers back on, pop them on. If you need that cushion, pop it back. And then I'm going to wiggle right in, hug, and do the same curling, holding, rocking that we have done together. And if you would also like to just open your hip here, you can open the hip. You can have little gentle hip circles or sweeping movements and just do whatever you feel comes natural on one side, and the other, like always, might not want exactly the same thing. So you could just bend and extend on the angle. You could give me that gentle hamstring wiggle. And then when you're ready for it, let's pause and settle. Would you like those hands back on the chest On the belly, would you like the arms out a little bit so you can gently drop into the elbows? Do you now want a little bit more release through those hip flexors, so you're going to pop the legs out? Maybe it's in that V shape. Try not to overarch through your pelvis and your lower back, that you arch your upper back or lift the chest at all. So just stay where you are in your comfy position, and we will take our time. So we will breathe through the body. We will let ourselves create that version of exhale that we can lean on into. We can let our body just press on down into your mat. Taking your time, taking that rhythmical approach to the breath, breathing in for me, breathing out. Taking it as it comes. If it takes you a little longer to kind of relax the mind and tune in with the body and the breath and its movement through the body, just go with the flow. Any breath here is a good breath by me, because we're not moving the body anymore. We're just letting it settle. We're letting the breath be our movement here, and we're letting our mind and our body connect as well. So being able to connect is a real gift we're giving ourselves. Being able to pause, to let go, they are also really, really useful tools in general, but in the end or at the end of any session, any class, just so that you can soften the body, you can take that tension away, and you can finish on a kind of positive note. So that's where we're at right now, breathing your way through the body, creating the version of the breath that gives you the calm, gives you that moment of pause, and letting every muscle in the body kind of come on board with this letting go idea. Relax through the forehead, the cheeks, the jawline, making sense of an open posture and an open breath as you breathe through the chest and the upper back. Breathe down through the arm line to release the biceps, the triceps, release any tension in the forearm, the wrist, and let the back of the hands be slightly heavier there on the mat or on the floor. Breathe down the length of the spine for me, creating that lovely circular motion through the chest into the torso, and glide that breath through the hip flexors, wrapping around to kind of let go with the luxurious nature of breathing through the glutes as they glide down the hamstrings, glide down the thighs, and just really let those ankles just flop out. Just let those ankles release all of that tension. And as and when you're ready for a little bit more movement, you might wiggle those ankles, wiggle the toes or the wrists, giving yourself a little bit of something. Could be a full body stretch, could be that calm hug, stronger hug. I don't mind. I'm already here, but when you're ready, come to a seated or whatever's comfy position. And we're just going to go with those kind of dancing shoulders, rolling them back, rolling them around. And then let's have both together with that lovely drop with the chin to the chest. Maybe you lift up and just gently hold your head. Let's take the hands behind and gently lift up. Take it over, gently sweep round, open up, release it through. From here, I'm going to do a lovely big push press, really rounding my back, stretching the upper back. Keep the hands interlaced. Gently, but with purpose, pull them tall above your head, and then release and open. And hurrah to you. Well done. You are all done and dusted with my Pilates session. So thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you here very, very soon.